we're going to walk through my workflow building CodeYam Editor itself. Use kind of an advanced workflow, but this is something that people can grow into. So to start, we have what we call the CodeYam fleet, which is a bunch of virtual machines. So these are just computers in the cloud. Each one's running its own session of CodeYam Editor, working on itself. I have one here that is not working on anything at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and go into it, and you should see it now. Yep. Okay. So this is now CodeYam Editor working on itself. We have the plan tab, and in the plan tab, I have a lot of plans that I've mapped out that I'm now working through. So I can, the sort of benefit of this sort of CodeYam fleet strategies, I can see what each of the virtual machines is working on inside of the plan tab. So I know that these plans have all been claimed and are now being worked on. And so it's really easy for me as each one finishes up to just go ahead and run the next one. Now, Claude and Codex and then maybe some of the other services out there, the harnesses offer the ability to kind of remote control this stuff as well. So it is actually, it's
So when you say remote control, what do you mean there? Is it controlling it like on your mobile device or like managing them from multiple devices? Like what are you doing exactly there?
yeah. And we automatically, this is a little too bad this one didn't do it. It did it automatically, but I had to clear it. But I'm just going to give it a name. So CI notarization. So it's nice to give it a name just to make it easier to find. But if you run / remote control, then this is already connected. But if you would just
Nice.
continue, and then if you log in on your mobile phone or Claude desktop, in this case, Claude mobile or Claude desktop, I can show that, I guess, in the video here.
I would say
So
mobile phone, you're in the Claude app for this, right? Like not on like a
yeah,
website, but actually in the app.
so this is the Claude app, and I go into code, and in code, it defaults to showing all of my sessions. I can see which ones are working. There's a little spinning sort of mode there. And it can tell me also which ones. There's a filter by sort of status, and you can say if you want, I go to needs input basically. And so anytime that Claude needs my input, and the CodeYam workflow has 3 or 4 checkpoints that are kind of designed to say, we've done the initial prototype, that's ready. So please ask the user if the prototype looks good. And then once the prototype has been sort of hardened and finalized, then it's another check-in to say the work is complete. How do you want to save it and push it to GitHub or whatever? How do you want to use this work, or just keep it locally? So these checkpoints, when it hits a checkpoint, it shows up and needs input, and then I can just go through and run through those. A lot of the time, screenshots will show up in the chat as well, so it helps for visual stuff. But
That's cool.
if not, if I'm either I can look on my computer, which is where it's running, or if it's in the cloud, I can also visit my cloud VMs on the web and see what they're doing and look in and sort of look at the previews that it's providing or the simulations it's providing there as well. But fundamentally, I now have 6 sessions running. I can see them all in the app here or on the desktop app. They all have proper names, so I know which one's which, and I can go into any one of them and sort of see what's going on. And mostly, I don't do that unless it looks like it's stuck. Like I might see that that session's been taking a while. Maybe it's getting confused, so I'll go in and see what's going on there. Or again, it's the checkpoints it provides good opportunities to say, is this what we expected, and not go too far along the path of building something that was incorrect or miscommunicated,
Right.
basically. So,
This
and
is
then
super cool. I wanted to ask a question quickly, which is when you're running, 6 different instances, all editing CodeYam Editor, how do you make sure that they're not collisions or like the edits are overwriting each other? Like, do you do anything there to kind of make sure that they're working on different things that complement?
they do conflict. That's almost unavoidable. I mean, you don't want to have
Gotcha.
people working the same thing. And the CodeYam planning process, when you plan something out in here, like if I were to create a new plan, that does have a sort of step to check that there's no existing plans that are already doing this. So as long as the plans are not completely overlapping, they can overlap a little bit. And then, Claude or any AI can work through merging in those changes to ensure that the final result is what you were looking for. So it is, it's better not. Yeah. So here's one of the checkpoints. I'm going to go ahead and say approved. The plan is a robust plan is written out. So this is a back end change. There's no front end to look at. Front ends are easier to evaluate, but I could read it through this. I've already read through the plan, so I'm confident with it. So I'm just going to say go ahead and start prototyping it. So collisions, code merges happen, and this is built to facilitate that and make it efficient. Make sure two sessions are not working on things too similarly. Um,
Makes sense.
and for the most part, yeah, I mean, once it's planned out effectively, as long as there's no uh, excessive overlap of the plan, it will check during the session to make sure that doesn't happen as well. Then it will uh, basically just work through the plans pretty efficiently, checking in occasionally at good points for me to go and look to see what it's doing. I can also check to see how long it's been taking. And if it's getting stuck, go in and fix one of the sessions. But anybody could do this. In fact, we can, work with anybody on the sort of fleet dynamics as well. But for the most part, people be getting started. It is more efficient at some level to just do one plan at a time because there's no collisions, there's no merging. So you just execute relatively quickly. Once you get to a more complicated product, and have more features and plans going on at one time, then yeah, it's worth building out or leveraging the CodeYam fleet or your own fleet, sort of private fleet, to run multiple sessions at the same time. But that's overkill for most products until they're relatively complex. For us, because we can build something relatively complex quickly with good checkpoints and good control of what's going on and good visibility into what's going on. And CodeYam sort of facilitates all of that. So.
Super cool. Okay, so just to like super quickly summarize what we talked about, went through how to set up remote control, which is super neat in terms of being able to take work on the go, and then also looking at the fleets and being able to push on multiple changes in parallel, and kind of discussing like when to do that and when that makes sense and when that doesn't, which it sounds like kind of relates to project complexity, as well as like how many changes kind of you got in the queue. Super cool. Thanks, Jared.